Back in Simio, here with our simple fast food restaurant model that can serve up to two customers at a time. So I'm going to talk about how to make some adjustments to your facility view of your model using these different tabs and what these different functions within Simio do to help you become a better modeler in Simio. All right, so in this view, I have my restaurant is all set up. It's ready to go. And if I wanted to see this go in this run tab of my facility tools, right? So my facility and run tab, if I click run, you're going to see that it is going to start to generate entities and they're going to go into service and the simulation time is going to increase, right? This is going pretty slowly. Based on the start time, we're only a minute and a half past 8 a.m. I don't really have that much time to sit here for a full 24 hours to watch this model go. So that's where I'm going to direct your attention up here to the run speed area. So sometimes it is useful to watch things in their actual speed, like in the real world speed, to see if things are functioning well. But you can adjust up or down the speed factor, right? Plus or minus 50%. So if we're at 1, I can adjust it up to 1.5 times or down to 0.5 times. So you see things are moving very slowly. Let's set this back to about 1. Let's actually make this speed factor something more useful. Let's bump it up to like 800. Type in 800, hit enter, and now, wow, these entities are moving through very fast. You can see that the time is cranking along quite nicely. This is super useful to adjust the speed factor by some significant amount so that you can actually see behavior of the model over time, especially if you just wanted to run your model and watch it perform over the entirety of its run. So I'm going to click stop. This model, let's check the run setup here, is set to start. I can set a specific starting time, like today's date at 8 a.m. And I can have it end at a specific time, like tomorrow at 8 a.m. Or we could do something like the run length, that we could run this for 24 hours. Let's say we wanted to just look at the restaurant operating for 24 hours, or let's say that this restaurant is only open for 12 hours in a day. That then would, if we ran it, it is going to have a percentage of our total runtime be out of the entire run length. Okay, so we could sit here and watch this run even at 800 times factor for the run speed, and it's still going to take some time. So a way to do this faster is to click the fast forward button. Just click fast forward, no animation, and it runs through the entire model very quickly. So if I were to click stop, you actually don't even have to have the model running. You can just click fast forward and it will run it as fast as possible without animation till the very end. Okay, let's click stop again. Another helpful thing in the run setup is the step function. So what this does is it steps through each event in the event calendar and the next animation. So let's just run this to get this model populated, and then I'll click. You can either pause it if you want, or you can go straight from running into step. So now I've clicked step. You can see that it is currently paused. Okay. Note the time here. 8 in the morning, 52 minutes, 8:52 and 34 seconds. If I click step, the next event is for the entity that was generated to go from the source into the queue of the fast food. But the time has not changed. And the reason why is there is no time and distance using a connector here. There's no time and distance that we're modeling in our system. So this happened instantaneously from the simulation perspective. I click step again. Once again, no time has changed to go from in the line to in service. Now, if I step, the time did increment by a few seconds because the service time is very fast. And they finish service and then they're going to go to the sink. So I can sit here all day and click and just kind of like debug and see all of the things to make sure that that stuff is flowing as it should. And then, okay, I'm satisfied that it's doing the way that it should. So I'm going to click fast forward and it's going to run through my entire model. Okay, let's click stop. So these are the basic settings in the run tab. Let's go to drawing. If you really, really wanted to, you could make this system look like a restaurant. Like I could draw a rectangle beneath it. And I could change the color of this to be something more palatable, like, this periwinkle blue, whatever that is. Um, this could be useful for kind of making sure that your system is accurate to the real world. Sometimes it's not that useful. There's some options here for symbols. I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you want to become an artist, go ahead and mess around in the drawing tab. Now, the animation tab, this is potentially more useful. Let's look at something like a status label. What this would do if I were to put this onto my facility view, let's click it, and I'll click and drag it to the size that I want. This can track something that's happening in the model and just give me a number. So for example, this expression, I might say something like fast food to reference the object fast food, the server, and I'm going to say, let's say processing contents. That'll give me the number of people that are currently in service. So if I do this, that's my expression. Go back to run, click run. You can see that once there become people in service, this number changes based upon what the expression that this is looking at. So this goes between 0, 1, and 2, depending on if there's nobody, one person, or two people in service at a time. So you can see that there's currently none. Let's step through. That goes up to 1. This can be really helpful for debugging. So animation is great for keeping track of things within your model to see what the status or the level of these things are. The next tab, view, this is really useful. So let's not drag that around. So if I'm moving this around, let's say I get lost, like, oh, I'm out here, and I could zoom around and zoom back. It might be more easy to just click view all. And if you click view all, it'll bring everything, every object that you have back into view. You can also change views. So let's say like I really wanted this to be a view. I could add this as a view. And then if I were to want to change my view, I can click back to that view. So let's say, I wanted to see something like I go click 3D and I want to see my model here. This is the view that makes sense for me. I'm going to add this as a view, and then I can go between view 0 and view 1 if I want. Like, let's say I'm out here, I'm going to go to view 0. It'll drag me all the way back to here. So this is useful for if you get lost within your model. A view has everything to do with how you're actually looking, either from like a third-person view in facility view. And the last thing is the visibility. So the visibility has options like your labels. If I toggle this, you can see that, oh, it might be more helpful to have the labels on. I often find it that it is. Sometimes it's not. You can have node labels, breakpoints, your arrows on your connectors, the links themselves, right? Those still exist in the model. This is just changing their visibility within this view. So you can even get rid of the grid, of the axis. You can get rid of your queues, the status plots. There's lots of different options within the visibility. So I hope that you found this useful. Best of luck with your modeling. Feel free to dig around in these different tabs and use the help function to figure out all of the different functionality within your facility tools. All right. Good luck with modeling.